The psoas is, let me give you a little anatomy first, deep on the front of the body. People call it a back muscle, and that is inadequate. That's not the right word. But you know what I mean. It lays on the front surface of the last 5 vertebrae, maybe more. We're all different. And then the diaphragm, way up here, and then comes through to the inner thigh bone to a tiny little point, bony protrusion called the lesser trochanter. So it's going to bring the leg up, and it's going to stabilize standing on one leg. So as we lift one leg, we're stabilizing using this psoas, and we're engaging this one to pull the leg up, flexion. Right? So if we're in a constant state of stress, the body initially curls in, or innately curls in. It's this long-held, evolutionary, I'm going to expose the hard surfaces and protect the soft surfaces so I don't get eaten by a predator. Okay? So if we're in constant state, it's pulling and pulling and pulling. Whether we move our torso and legs closer together or not, it's fired up. It's also root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus. So it crosses those first 3 energy centers, which are developmental stages of our life and who we are and how we express that in our relationships. So it's a lot. That's why I love the psoas muscle. So if we come to Anjaneyasana, or a kneeling deep lunge, right, we start to open up the front of the hip as we come forward of the knee. This feels really good. If we just collapse into it, it can be uncomfortable and do less productive stretching, as opposed if we kept engaged through the foot and heel pulling towards each other, the foot and heel, the heel and knee pulling towards each other, or inner thigh activation, or hugging the midline. Lots of different cueing to get to the same goal of muscular engagement. So if I just lunge in, I'm getting this really nice stretch. If I pull in and up, it goes further and does better work. It's more efficient. So from Anjaneyasana, or a low lunge, to activate a nicer stretch through the whole front of the thigh, it's getting quad muscles for sure. It's getting core muscles for sure. It's also accessing the psoas. Then, of course, we want to just soften the shoulders and expand and open it up. So Anjaneyasana can get in there. But here's a better way. From a more box lunge, knee under hip, foot under knee, and maybe a little bit wider for stability, we scoop the tail under. We get that same tension through the front of the hip into the front of the lower belly. Extending the arm up, it's nice to articulate the shoulder joint, pull it down, shoulder blade back, maybe the elbow bends comfortably and we can press back, helping to keep more of the front of the body open here. Scooped under, core engaged, root to rise, hugging up from the floor. We pull over to the opposite side. This, of course, is relaxed. So this is where I feel more psoas stretch. My back foot's tucked under. It can be flat. Whatever helps you feel grounding. And again, heel and knee hugging together. Right? And then if you're not feeling it, you can trust yourself and slowly and cautiously move for a better sensation. That might be bringing the ribs more behind the hip. It may be more over to the side. It may be twisted a little bit, because we're all a bit twisted. And we're certainly not symmetrical. So trust yourself to cautiously move slowly to access that psoas muscle. Again, front of the spine, inner thigh, all the way up to the bottom ribs and the diaphragm there. Okay, so that's 2 ways of finding it. Now I just popped up into a warrior 1 stance. Perfect. That's what I'm going for here. We can do this same thing in warrior 1. So feet are actively engaged and we're drawing up from the floor, root to rise. We don't so much have to pull and scoop the tail under, but that can be helpful. Same thing. The side's relaxed. We're opening up from the back straight leg all the way up. through the torso and then pulling it to the opposite side. The arm can stay straight. It might want to go somewhere else, might be on the hip. I like behind the head because every time we can push our head back, we soften the front of the neck. I do this in my car, actually. Again, that same thing I talked about in last week's tutorial. Antagonist muscle groups support each other. So engaging one forces another to relax. Pushing back engages the back of the neck, forcing the front of the neck to relax. Oh, that just feels so good. I want to hang out here the whole day, right? Opening up the psoas muscle in warrior one and that Anjaneyasana low lunge. Okay, so now strengthening, feel into your foot. I am not a fan of when teachers take warrior one into warrior two. I don't teach warrior one with a long stance, so it's never set up for me to easily open into the second pose, warrior two from warrior one. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it just feels, not to be at all judging or shaming, it just feels stupid to me in my practice because I set them up differently. So instead of opening from warrior one, right, if I open to warrior two, my feet are not in the right place, I'm short in my stance, and my hips don't love it. So instead, here's a way of coming from one to the other. Hang on, Marley's back. Come on, Bubba. The things we do for our loved ones. Come sit. Go home. Go home. Good girl. Okay, so we had our warrior one. I love you so much. You're going to lean into your front foot. Baby girl. Mar, come. Good girl. Go home. Good girl. Okay. So we're going to balance on our front leg, strengthen that stabilizer of the psoas, and then strengthen the other one. I picked up my back heel. I'm finding a gazing point, which is you right now, to help me stay balanced, and then pull that knee through. Flex the hip. So stabilizing, pushing down, hip on heel, not pushing the hips forward and leaning back. I'm pushing down through the floor, pulling in. There's even an internal little spiral there because of the attachment point is on the inner thigh. And then stacking all of the upper body, torso to the foot, right? Pulling the knee higher than the hip is the psoas job. Here it's mostly hip flexors, quads and such. When we pull it in tighter, that's where the psoas takes over. So stabilizing, strengthening, action, engaging, flexion. Then I can transition to a different pose that has a different foundation from warrior one. Maybe warrior two, we step further back, the heel spins down. Now I have that pattern. And look, my hips open up to the long edge. My foundation supports the second pose. My preference. Nothing's wrong or right. It's really about being smart and healthy and what we like. So that's what I like, right? Woo. So again, I'll do the other side just so I feel balanced. Warrior one. I have a shorter stance. My hips are squared. Strong, straight back leg. Feet are pushing down and pulling in. Take that psoas stretch. We take it over to the other side. Maybe the hand comes back. We get in that nice neck stretch. This side is relaxed. This side is opening up and engaged through the feet, through the belly, through the reach. Of course, you're breathing. Then you take agency. Where is this going to feel better? In the front of my lower belly, top of the thigh, or front of the hip. And it might be different on the second side. Okay. Ooh. Then we take it into a transition and we strengthen, stabilize, activate. All right. There's your Tutorial Tuesday, a quick little lesson on the psoas muscle. If we want to take forward movement in our life, we have to step forward. And if our psoas is locked up or weak, or if we are a constant state of stress, then all of the energy of being rooted, who we let into our life and how we respond to personal relationships and how we present ourselves in the world and be an authentic expression of who we are and our truth, are all linked to the psoas muscle. So strong and long, my friends. Have a great day.